welcome. My name's Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music blessing and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is September 12th, 2025. Let's see who's here so we can say good morning to each other. Lydia and Penny, Tony and Kate. Good to see all of you. Hi, Susie, Cynthia. Thank you, Penny. It's broadcast 1388. Shabbat Shalom to you too. Tracy and Arlene, Boker Tov. It's good to see all of you, friends. Let's see who else is here joining on Facebook now. Jonathan and Linda, Arlene, Rosa, and Jack, Boker Tov. Good to see all of you. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. It is, as Penny reminded us, broadcast 1388. It is day 707 since October 7th. Anya and Ron, Barry, Dale, Natalia, and Karen, good morning. Good to see all of you. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you. All right, let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha in a moment, learn some Torah. Kim and Deborah and Mark, good to see you. Okay, here we go. Everybody, it's good to see all of you. Again, it's broadcast 1388, at least according to Penny it is, and it is day 707 since October 7th. Let's jump right into a piece of the Parsha. Now, we've referenced a number of times, friends, that in this week's Parsha, Ki Tavo, the premise is that we have entered the land, right? This is how Moshe is instructing us, that when we will have entered the land. That's a complicated grammatical structure, but I think it comes through. It hasn't happened yet, but this only becomes real once it has become true. We will then be privileged to have a home, a stable place from which to harvest crops that we grow, that we plant. And the language is quite beautiful. From that bounty, we bring the first fruits, the bikurim, to the priest. Now, we've spoken about this a few times, but there's an element of that ritual itself, the bikurim ritual, which deserves a little bit more investigation. And for this, I'm really grateful to Rabbi Shimon Felix, who wrote a beautiful commentary on My Jewish Learning on this ritual. You see, the familiar language, especially because we've discussed it a few times, Arami Oved Avi. This is what we say when we bring the basket of fruit from our home to the place where God will choose for God's name to reside. I know that sounds like a bulky phrase, but our special place is not because we have chosen it. It's because it was assigned to us. Now, your theology might be different. And the way that spells onto geopolitics is important to consider. But this is a holy place and has been to our people since the inception of Am Yisrael. From the time that we were in the desert, we were hearing advanced echoes of this special place. The desert tabernacle, the Mishkan, was a temporary place where God would dwell between the Kruvim, the angels, in the Holy of Holies. And as we traveled, that holy space moved with us. But when we established a permanent home in our ancient homeland, this was the place where we would encounter God. Of course, God is beyond space and time, but for us, we need a nexus, we need a place. Now, when the temple was destroyed, we began thinking in terms like this: Mikdash Me'at, a small temple, a small holy space. For some, that became synagogues. It's a beautiful place to encounter the divine and community. For some, it became a Shabbat table, where family comes together and God is present too. But in this ancient moment, where we brought the basket full of fruits that we were privileged to grow, and we brought the tithe and we brought the gift, and we made not a confession, but we told our story, we would say, Arami Oved Avi. Now, I've hinted at two different translations of this word over the course of this past week's learning. And Aramean, is understood differently by different commentators and interpreters. Is Arami Oved Avi, translated the way we often do, my father was a wandering Aramean, about Avraham, because he came from Aram Naharaim. That's the place where before the journey began, Avram's family was located. So you could say my ancestor was a wandering Aramean. And then the way we tell our story begins with a kind of wandering, with a nomadic existence. That has a certain kind of inception. That's the origin story. We were not rooted in a place. We were not purposeful in our journey. And that's where Avram began. And in fact, it could be understood straight from the text just like that. But there's another way of understanding the words, Arami Oved Avi, with an aleph, for those who are following the text itself. Arami Oved Avi could mean an Aramean sought to destroy my ancestor. In this way, that describes Jacob's journey, because the Arami was Lavan. Lavan sought to destroy my ancestor. And since Lavan was our cousin, came from the same place, we would say, in Ashkenazi terms, a landsman, that Arami sought to destroy my ancestor. Now, this sounds, I'm sure, friends, a little bit too in the weeds. So let me say clearly what each of these interpretations might be pointing to, and why thinking about it is important for us. So, if the verse that we recite when we are in our homeland is, my father was a wandering Aramean, that means the Jewish journey began with wandering and nomadic existence, and then a purpose, coming home. If, however, it means an Aramean sought to destroy my ancestor, it means that the way that we tell the story when we're home is based on persecution. What do you do in a world where both are true, where the purpose of a Jewish journey is profound and beautiful and real, and there is persecution? How do we tell our story, especially now that we've come home again? The third Jewish commonwealth, the state of Israel, which was built on our indigenous home, lost to forced exile. This is a story that we're still working on shaping, the narrative that we tell, in all of its complexity, with all of its honesty, and with all of its very complicated implications. Do we tell our story as a story of escaping persecution? Do we tell our story about moving forward with purpose through time? These two are incredibly important. They're, of course, both true. As John is pointing to the ritual that we have of smashing a glass under the chuppah, we do not smash the glass In the first moment of a chuppah, we walk to the wedding canopy. We stand under its openness. We speak of the mystical impact of the heavens being open and the walls of our home also being permeable for all those who need. And we break a glass because that has also been true not only tribally for Jews, but also for human beings in the world. We are called to recognize the brokenness of the world and to do something about it. I bless us right now to go into Shabbat, letting our story swirl. What does one side of it mean? One side of it means the world remains hard. In Yiddish, we say, schwer zu sein a Yid. It's hard to be a Jew. It's true. It's also hard to be a human being. And the way we align our story with the stories that surround us matters. When we allow the narrative of persecution to dominate our brains, we make certain kinds of choices, and sometimes they're the ones we must make. But it is also important for us to give ourselves and the world a gift of inner recognition that we had an inner compass installed in us from our ancient days that said, live lives of purpose. It's not always on the run that a Jew finds themselves. What a gift it is to be home. I want to bless us with both of those angles and to share the teaching of Rabbi Shimon Felix, because he uses these words in the investigation to talk about Zionism, to talk about Jewish identity. Listen to how he ends. I'm just going to read 3 paragraphs. It's really beautiful. I think it is also suggestive that in the 2 interpretations, Rabbi Felix writes, both we and our oppressors have the same name, Aramaean. In exile, our very identity is in fact a threat to us. Our existential condition is inherently threatening. We could talk about this. The confusion among the commentaries as to what this opening phrase means parallels the confusion of the reality the phrase describes. Out of our land, out of our community, out of our historical narrative, it can be unclear who we are, where we are going, and what's happening. It is only once our situation as wanderers is rectified, and we arrive and thrive in our own land and see ourselves as actors in our coherent narrative, that we can begin to function as the individuals and society we were meant to be. Only once we are rooted in a knowledge of and gratitude for God's kindness and understand ourselves in terms of that kindness and are grateful for it, can we commit ourselves to echoing that kindness with the help we give others. Blessing you, friends. Blessing me too. With an awareness that we can do good in this world. We can write the next chapter of the story. What a gift. And please God, may this next chapter begin very soon, with wholeness, with whatever sense of closure we might possibly be able to give our beloved 48, their families, our community in Israel, our family around the world, and beyond. May the next chapter be a sweet one for you, for yours, for our people, and for the world. Let's sing. Kolon balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you soon. Shabbat Shalom, my friends.